rivalry dates back to 1953 when the Sixers were the Syracuse Nationals. This is their 20th postseason meeting, easily the most playoff matchups between two teams in league history. Boston has won 12 of the previous 19 meetings. Look, if we're going to try to predict what's coming in the next few years, both of these teams are young. They seem like they're going to be on top of things in the East for a minute. Are we about to enter a new chapter of this great rivalry?
That was great Paul Pierce footage.
I was weird. I forget you were good sometimes.
I was okay.
Yeah, you were really good, Paul.
But let me tell you, when you talk, and I like the Boston rally cry, beat Phila. That's really clever. But you know who gets left out of the Philly-Boston rivalry? His name didn't get mentioned right there, and it frustrates me so much. Here's a layup for everyone. Andrew Toney. What's his nickname?
The Boston Strangler.
Come on now.
Oh,
anyway, I think today's rival is Cavs Warriors. Because when I'm seeing that, it's the best player, LeBron James, versus the best team. But
right now, like if you were to, I mean, I know I hate to predict, but if 2, 3, 4 years down the road, does this have the makings?
It's going to be them two battling it out in the Eastern Conference to see who goes to the finals for the next 4 or 5 years. Imagine a healthy Celtics teams right now. I mean, they would probably get to the finals, and they still can. I mean, with the job Brad Stevens doing with their supporting cast, I mean, next 4 or 5 years, you're going to see nothing but Philly and Boston.
Can I say this?
One of the two in the finals.
Will we feel like this if Boston beat Philly this year without their two best players?
That'll be tough. That's a very good question. I mean, I almost think, if we're talking 2, 3, 4 years from now, I got to go to the West. I got to say Houston and Golden State. That has to become some type of rivalry. You got star power. You got two very good basketball teams. To me, the best two teams in our game this year, and it probably will be in the next couple years if they stay the same. That should be like the next 3 or 4 years rivalry. But in the East, of course, you got Boston.
I mean, I don't really see the long-term effect of those two teams being a rivalry. I mean, you look at Houston, they're a little bit older. They're going to have to re-sign Chris Paul. You look at Golden State, they're going to have some contracts coming up with Clay and Draymond. So, I don't know if you even keep those two together. And then you got other teams who are going to be on the rise, teams like Denver. Portland can get better. Utah's up and coming. So the West is going to be tough. But we know in the East, it's going to be Boston and Philly. Unless something happens in Milwaukee where you add some talent with Greek Freak, unless Indiana gets better, these are two of the clear-cut best teams in the East moving forward.
Great star power. I agree with you. In the East, no doubt about it, it's those two teams moving forward. But imagine if you're looking in the rearview mirror at teams like Washington, teams like Toronto. They hope to catapult themselves into this conversation. Now you have these young emerging teams now taking over the spotlight.
Philly, hoping to see a return of the Dario Saric from the first round after scoring 20 points in each of the first 3 games of the playoffs. He hasn't scored more than 14 in any of the last 4 games. Coming up, the